Okay. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? So this one is something that I wanted to do on yesterday. I just had other stuff come up, so I didn't get a chance to do it. So today it's gonna be about my thoughts on relationships. And I thought I should do this because people seem to have this weird concept of relationships. And I just thought I kind of make it a little bit clearer for people so they have a better understanding, the breakdown of actual relationship. It's give and take. You have to have that communication. You have to be willing to compromise. Some things change, and it depends on the actual relationship. So I thought I would talk a little bit about that today and just kind of clear that up so everyone knows what's really going on. Um, so one of the first me because I'm surrounded by women all the time. My mom, my sisters, I have several nieces, so I'm surrounded by women. So one of the things I want to talk about is the respect that a man should have for a woman, because a lot of people don't see certain things that they do and say as a form of disrespect because of the time that they're growing up in and the things that may have happened in their past, with even growing up to relationships they've had and so forth. So I wanted to make a couple things clear because women play a huge part, a huge role in everything that goes on. Women are more nurturing, caring, loving, affectionate than men because that's who they are. That's a part of them. So as a man, we should respect that. Our role is to protect, to love, and to just be there and to pretty much be that support and that encouragement to the women, in our lives. Because like I try to tell my nieces, they're young now, but I really want them to know that, I love them. I have mad respect for them. And, I'm working on understanding their way of thinking. They're younger now. So as they get older, I want them to know how a relationship should be. Um, because, you know, people have their own set way of communication, and that's not always the right way to communicate and express things. It's a way to do everything, but some people tend to have a lot of negative things to say about some guys tend to have a lot of negative things to say about women, and I do not like that or approve of it, because if it wasn't for a woman we wouldn't be here. That's the first thing, you know because honestly, a woman have that option. Hey, either I can have this baby or I don't have to have it, and that's just being real about it. And they decide to have that baby. So it's my wife. Now if I don't answer this, she's gonna be really upset. All right, I'm gonna have to take it, and she's right downstairs. Crazy. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully she just butt down me or something. I don't know. She's supposed to be working right now, and I'm obviously supposed to be doing something which I'm just not about to get started. But anyway, as I was saying, the thing is, a woman have that option, if she wants to keep the baby or not. And you know, I feel as if she made that choice to keep the baby because she cares. It's a lot of reasons. But for a woman to actually have a child and to nurture that child, to raise that child, to be there for them, to encourage them, support them, to give them that love, we should have, as men, as black men, I feel as if we should have more respect for the women in our lives, because those are the same people that were there when no one else was. Your mom is going to be there when dad don't want to do what he's supposed to do, or you're not getting that same love and support. on the outside, the female person in your life is going to be the more nurturing. Um, and that's a thing that, it kind of bothers me because, I listen to a lot of rap. I love music, so I listen to a lot of different stuff. And now the way that women are talked about versus in the 90s and before that, when I was growing up listening to music is crazy because, now women are being called out name. It's been, you know, talk about sex and all this other stuff, which, they done it then too. But it's just a different way that things were presented to, the public then versus now. Um, and it's kind of crazy because a lot of the, a lot of the younger generation don't really know and understand that little thing about having respect, not just for, you know, the opposite sex, but having respect for themselves and for the, the people they come in contact with. And that's a thing that needs to be, people just need to start holding themselves accountable for, their actions, the way that they communicate. And one of those things is, you have to think back to growing up, all the lessons you were taught by a female figure in your life, whether it's your mom, your grandmother, your great grandmom, your aunts, sisters or whatever. And it's a lot of those lessons that I've noticed today for myself, growing up, that I've had to look back on and realize that, a lot of the times I didn't want to hear some things. Now that I'm older and I'm starting a family of my own, now um, I'm really starting to see that, a lot of those lessons and a lot of those things are really coming in handy because, you can't maintain or keep a positive relationship and things are not going to go the way they should if you're not going to listen, if you're not going to actually express whatever it is that, you really feel on your heart or in your mind, because it's okay to, to show those emotions and those feelings. And a lot of guys don't want to do it because they feel as if it's a sign of weakness, but in all actuality, it's actually a sign of strength because if you're able to express yourself, if you're okay with yourself, then there's no issue when, you know, something just hits you right there and you just have to cry. It's okay, guys, because bro, I cry and I'm okay with it. When my sister had my nephew, and that was my first time being in the delivery room with her, I cried because, I was seeing this guy being, my nephew being, coming into this world, and that was one of those happy cries, like a very joyous moment. So at that point, I was filled with joy. I was happy, I was nervous, and honestly, they was telling her to push, and I'm up there holding her hand, and I'm pushing too. And a few times I thought I would pass out, but I'm telling this because, I just, guys, we need to understand it's okay to cry, man. Like, it happens. It's not a weakness. It's actually a strength because if you hold those emotions in, you study holding things in, that's not good because at some point in some way it's going to come out, and it doesn't always come out the right way. So you have to learn to not hold things in, and you also have to learn to appreciate the women in your life. You have to give them that respect, that love. You have to be there to support them. Now, me and my fiance, our relationship is good. you know, Not saying that we don't have a disagreements, because in every relationship you're going to have a disagreement about something, but it comes a time and a point where you have to learn where you need to actually think about what is more important, you know. And I value my relationship with her. I value her as a person because she's a beautiful person. Not saying that our disagreements don't irk my nerve. I don't get irritated with her. I don't be like, damn, I can't stand it for a minute, because I know she feels the same way about me. But at the end of the day, the love is there and it's real. But we had to learn how to compromise. And I'm still a big ass baby about stuff. And matter of fact, she just told me that this morning, you know, which is okay because it's true, and I know that. But I'm learning to just love her for her, not for anything else, but learning to have that unconditional love where even when she's doing something that I really just can't stand, if she says something that just irks my nerve, at the end of the day, I know that I love her for her. I can't give you a reason, like, oh yeah, I love her because of her personality, her attitude, or because she just makes me happy. No, I just love her. I can't put my finger on what it is that I love about her, but I love her. And I'm very happy, content, and peaceful within my relationship because she allows me to be me. When I'm outside of our home, there's this image that I have to put on in front of everyone, and it's that strength. It's that little thing that we're outside of the home, we have to be so much. But when I'm home, she allows me to be able to actually break down if need to be, and to just not have all that weight on me. So she allows me to be me, but she also allows me the time and the space to just feel that peace and that love and that comfort, because a lot of the times that's what I need after a long day of work, and having to deal with stressful calls, and dealing with emails and all this other stuff. Sometimes we men just need just that closeness, just to be held. But on the flip, also, it's times that she's going to be stressed out. She's having to work. She's having to deal with the kids. She's having to make sure, laundry is done, dishes are done, food is prepared. So guess what? Rubber feet. And honestly, I hate feet, but I know that if her feet are killing her, even if she haven't said it, like, I can just tell, because you have to pay attention. You have to learn those things so you'll know. Like, if she, just sitting down and we're watching a movie and she's sitting on the other end of the couch, I'll sit beside her because I want to be close to her. I want her to know that, hey, I'm here. And at night, at the end of the day, we're done working, everything is done, kids in bed. It's okay to have those conversations just to kind of check and see, how was your day? What did you have going on? Or how are you feeling? You have to ask those questions. You have to keep that communication open, and everything will be how it should be. Um, but it's just that's why I was like, these are just my thoughts on relationships, and just keeping that communication channel open, and knowing that that is going to be your go-to person. Now, me and my fiance, we discuss things, but some things I don't uh, talk to her about, because I don't want to put all of my stress on her, because I know that at some point that will cause for her to be angry and resentful because of the extra stress that I'm putting on her of my things. And I know that, women, they're going to want to talk about it. And that's the great thing about women, because they want to talk. They want to try to figure it out. When you're in that relationship and y'all love each other, she's going to want to figure it out. She's going to, whatever it is that she can do to help, she's going to do that. And I allow her to do that, to be there, to be loving, to listen, when I need to talk. But I also know not to put too much on her, because I don't want to put a strain in our relationship. If I need to talk to somebody about other stuff, that's what therapists are for. My wife, soon to be wife, is not my therapist. She's my partner. We communicate, but we also have boundaries that are set in place to make sure that things don't get out of hand, that our relationship goes exactly the way we want to. Like she has had to tell me, a few times that, hey, everything is, every day is not going to be perfect, because I had this idea in my head at one point, not necessarily saying that everything was going to be perfect, but I had a picture of how I wanted everything to be. And then I had to realize, sometimes things come up. Might have had planned a date night, but it didn't fall through because we couldn't get a babysitter. So we wait till the kids went to sleep and we just sat out in the car and talked. That's okay, because those are the things that, build that foundation, that solid foundation, that constant communication, that being free and open, and that just loving each other no matter what's going on around you, and making time for each other. Because, throughout the day, I might go down the stairs and just like, babe, I love you. And she just kind of look at me like, I love you too. I'm like, I ain't want that. I just wanted to say that. I come back upstairs and get back to work, because she's working down there. I'm working up here. So, it's just finding that time to make sure you do what it is you need to do. Keep that relationship fresh. Keep it on. Keep things out in the open. There should not be any secrets in a relationship. If this is a committed relationship, that relationship that you decided this is the one, you know, this is how it's going to be. You just have to know that, it's going to be times that you're going to have to let some things and some people go, because they're not meant to continue forward with you. Some people are just not meant to be in your life long term. It's, I think I heard it, several places, but, people come in your life for different reasons, and it's learning, what was the purpose of you having contact with a certain person, and what was it that they had to show you, or that you had to go through with that person, or that you had to learn from that person to push you to the next level. And once you learn that, you will be in a much better place, and you will know how to see your relationships and your friendships as whatever they are at that point in time. You will know who is for you, who is against you, who's going to encourage you, who's going to discourage you. You have to know those things. You have to know who is going to be there to push you to your blessing instead of holding you back from it, because you cannot allow people in your life that are not going to serve a purpose. And when I say serve a purpose, I mean, you can't have those people in your life that are just going to be there taking, and not giving nothing back. And when I say giving something back, it could be just words of encouragement. It could just be them listening when you need to talk and not dumping so much on you. It could be those people that when everything is just going all bad, you just call them and they just, I was just thinking about you. I had a word and I was going to call you, but you called me before I got you. Sometimes that's all we need. But if a person is not putting in anything into that relationship, that friendship, there's no point in having them present in your life, because they're not pushing you to the next level. They're not encouraging you. They're not giving you the strength you need to be the person you truly are. And deep inside of every person, we have a deep yearning of feeling for a relationship. But that's a totally different relationship than the ones that we have right here in the flesh, in the present. It is another relationship that you have with your creator. Now, everybody views and opinions of this may be different, and that's fine. I'm not going to tell you what to believe, how to believe it, but each person at some point in their life has felt as if something was missing. You tried everything you could do to try to feel it, but you can't feel it, because it's nothing on this side. It's more of a spiritual thing. It's more of you having to fill that void with spiritual stuff, not the whole religious stuff, because people get hung up on spiritual and religious. Don't get hung up on it. The whole religious thing is to me, I look at it this way. Religious is the rituals, the going to church, the reading the Bibles, the Quran, whatever it is that you read. That's the religious part. The spiritual part is about having that relationship, that constant communication. You keep that channel open and free. To me, that's the spiritual part. Knowing when things have got to the place where there's nothing you can do about it. So you have to go to the one that can do something about it. Now back to these here relationships, because y'all, I will get to talking, and it is so much that comes through at one time. I just have to push it out, because if I don't, I'm holding on to it. I'm like, I should have said that. I had the chance to say it, but I didn't. So now I'm getting to the place in my life to where I'm just going to speak it, and by me speaking it, I'm getting it out, and people are going to hear it. Now it's what you choose to do, what you hear. That part is on you. The most I can do is I can put that out there for you, and it's up to you whether you pick it up and use it or not. But remembering to just check those relationships out, check that communication out, see where you are, see who is encouraging, see who is holding you back. Just think about it. How many people in your life can you actually say, if you call them right now and you tell them you had a problem, are they going to try to help you find a solution? Or are they going to be the type of person that's going to want to continue to talk about the problem? Are they going to come up with, or are they going to tell you, oh yeah, I had that problem too, but it wasn't really nothing I can do about it? Or a person that's going to hear your problem and tell you, how about we just pray about it? We just pray and try to find a solution that way. It's all different type of people. You got some people that hear it and don't want to do nothing about it. You got some people that's always walking around asking, hey, what happened? What happened? You got some people that seen what happened. You got some people that did whatever it was that was being done at that moment. You got the lookers, you got the hearers, you got the seers, and you got the doers. So you got to figure out who you got in your corner. What are they doing? Which one of those are they? They the hearer, the seer, the doer. What is it? You got to find out what you got in your corner. Sometimes we keep people in our life because we get so used to just having them around. You get used to having the people around that you don't pay attention to what is actually costing you, what you're losing by having that relationship. Because some people don't understand, you can have somebody in your life, in your corner, that are actually more damaging, more hurtful. And you don't even see it because you're blind, because you have got used to that person. You've got used to all of that going on. You mixed up in that whole little mix. You don't see it clearly. And that's when you have to open your eyes. You really open your eyes and see what it is that's going on. Once you open your eyes and you see what it is that's going on, you can start to make some changes. Because if the relationship is not benefiting you, you're not happy. You're always upset. You're depressed. You're sad. Jealousy. All those things. That's all negative. When you need something or someone that's encouraging, that's uplifting, that's positive, that loves you, that cares about you, that's nurturing, that's understanding, that's willing to compromise, that's willing to go the extra mile for you, even though they don't have to. They're not obligated to do anything, but they do it because they love you and they genuinely want what's best for you, regardless of what else is going on. No matter what nobody else say, they steady in your corner telling you, hey, you know what? It don't matter what they say, because I believe in you. I know you can do it. And it's going to be those people. So that means when you move to that next level and you really don't got to where you can do all the things that you wanted to do, all the things you thought you couldn't do, but you finally don't made it. Don't forget about that person or those people. Because the whole time while you were struggling trying to get there, they was right there in your corner telling you that you could do it. So you know what I mean? You need to be there for them. you gotta still love them. And if, you get to a point to where you just don't made it, help those people out, because if it wasn't for that constant being there for you, you wouldn't be where you are today. And I say that with I'm thinking of something, because and I seen it happen, with actual people I know. I seen it, a lot of times in these movies and stuff. People forget the ones that was right there behind them when they was struggling, they was trying to get through to get to where they need to be, and they forgot all about them. But they allow all these new people in, and the new people, they wasn't there when you was going through your struggle. They wasn't there when you didn't have nothing. But you can give so freely to these new people, but the people that held you up when you was down and out, when you was sick, when you didn't have nothing, when you was lower than low, when you was at your lowest, those people that held you up, that took care of you, that was there for you, that defended you, that gave to you what you couldn't give to yourself, and done for you what you couldn't do for yourself. Why would you leave them when you get yourself right? Why would you do that? You can't leave a person that has been there, that has been a positive person in your life, that has made that kind of impact, even if you don't see how they did it, but you know that they put in that time, that they was there, never expecting anything from you. The best thing to do when you get yourself together is to find a way to bless them and to try to be there for them how they was there for you. That's what it is that needs to be done. You just have to. And with that being said, remember this: to whom much is given, much is required. And that's actually a Bible verse too. It's one of those things where the people that have so much, whether it's material, spiritual, whatever it is, you have so much because you have a job to do. And your job is to help others. If it's you just have all the book sense in the world, teach, mentor, help, give back. Because that's the most important thing. The most important thing in life now is giving back. Because we have all been given so much. We've been blessed with life, the ability to speak and hear, see, to move around without assistance. So give back to those who don't have and who are less fortunate. You can mentor, you can volunteer at the church, homeless shelter. It's places that you can go to give back. And if you don't have the actual time to sit there, and if you do have the money to give, then give that to some of these nonprofit organizations, some of these charities, and things of that nature. Because when you start giving back, you're going to start getting more in return. And it's not even really about the getting more in return, but it's about doing what's right. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys. I will be back on a little bit later. Not sure what it is I'm going to be talking about, but I will be back. And until later, everybody just be blessed. Stay safe out there. And I look forward to seeing and talking with you all again soon.